Read the book and leave your reviews. I want to know what you think, because I ain't some fad YouTube author.
This is basically what they look like. This is the
You say
40K.
basically.
I did. I'm Lisdistic. I might have said it, but
She tells her brother, she's like, "You're too weak. You need me. You know, and I got to be tough for you because you're weak."
And she's
something
I'm
along
sitting
those
there
lines.
like,
I'm
you're
like,
the bully, Sam.
Maybe build up your little bro to be able to deal with these problems instead of just telling him like he sucks and just like reinforcing that about him. He's
Woman,
like,
am I right?
Jordan Peterson peeks his head around her. You need to take some responsibility in your life.
What are you talking about? Didn't that happen at the end? Right now, we're going to be talking about the spoiler discussion of what's the title of this book? I don't even think we talked about that.
Is it Ascendants?
The Ascendants.
The Ascendants.
The Ascendants. Not a great title, I would say. It's hard to remember even though it's so basic. I think that's why it's, I don't know.
They should have gone with a better title like Juniper Ascending. Yeah,
absolutely. That is the gold standard
Missed opportunity, frankly,
of storytelling. Is that written by a Mormon?
Yes, we're saying yes.
No. But okay, we're doing the spoiler discussion, in-depth discussion. So hopefully you just came from our previous non-spoiler discussion. You should check that out because we're cool. And even if you're skipping right to this, go watch that one too. Don't be a dweeb.
We're shirtless in that video.
Don't be.
Go check it out.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're going to talk about, everything about it. We're getting to the nitty-gritty. And then after this, we're talking Jazza versus his brother, Shadow Brooks. And we're going to compare and contrast, see who the better writer is. So stick around.
We should also compare and contrast who the better artist is. Because they're both artists.
We could do that too. No.
Sprite. Anyway.
All right, Justin, what do you feel? I feel like you could start this off well.
Well, the summary. Should we hit the summary? You guys are going to get right
hit the summary. Yeah, I feel like we could have done a non-spoiler, but whatever.
The summary, according to Amazon, is on a distant mining colony. Samantha Weaver is in line for a promotion and is working hard to have hope for the future. She came to this desolate place to give her sickly brother Aiden a better life. But is it really better? Sometimes she wonders how best to help him and if they made the right decision. Their mundane existence is blown apart from the moment the monstrous creatures breach the mines. The colony descends into chaos. All the workers are trapped, abandoned by the very administrators who once drove them to exhaustion. Together, Sam and Aiden, they gotta fight their way through these blood-stained hallways where every shadow hides claws and every move could be their last. The walls are breached. The colony is lost. Survival is all that's left. When the legendary Starborn warriors arrive, the survivors dare to hope, but these newcomers are not intent on rescue. Whatever they came for, it's worth more than every survivor begging for salvation. From acclaimed artist and creator Josiah Brooks comes a relentless, pulse-pounding story of monsters, love, mystery, and the devastating price of protecting loved ones.
That description sounds so basic, but
4.7 out of 5 on Amazon, 173 people.
I do prefer some of the name. We didn't know his name was Josiah, or at least I didn't, so we were guessing biblical sounding names because of the Mormon thing. Habakkuk. Calebediah, Abraham, Pigliticus. There's many.
Well, I want to mention with the description that she was trying to provide a better life for her brother. They mentioned very clearly that she can get like a captain or commander position really easily, and that her brother's holding her back, which
with her, yeah.
Why, or if she can't pay, send him money. I'm confused. You're gonna have this super cushy life. You can't.
Well, no, because
help your brother from that position.
Also, the prison bitch of this whole mining colony. So, yeah,
that made no sense to me. You can have a better life, but your brother's holding you back, but it's not.
It was trying to drive home the family thing in her mind. He can't. If she has to leave him alone for a couple years to go and get to that position to then come back and get him, that part of his life is not going to be as good. So in her mind, a good life for him is she needs to be there to watch over him because she's always been there to watch over him, and it's just she's got to keep it going.
He's physically less capable. He's also not as assertive as she is, which is part of why.
Demasculating the man.
Also part of why I hate her.
Yeah, so you're gonna stick around and baby him. Which I get it. That was pointed out that was wrong for her to do. But you're gonna baby him when he can just I don't know, get more money and provide a better life for you both in the future. I don't know. It was kind of silly. Also, I don't know. I mean, that's a small point. It's not really crazy. I just was kind of like thinking about that for a little bit.
She's a frustrating character in some ways. Like she's not like I don't hate her like I hate how like I've hated some other female leads or some other female like kind of centric characters, but she definitely feels modern female in a way that I don't think she would most people would be in this universe.
Well, yeah, it happens a lot with a lot of these characters.
40K. That's kind of what it felt like.
Well, a lot of these characters, some of them were not terribly, but like some of them were doing things that I'm like, you wouldn't be doing this. Like, come on. I will say, so this book opened up from the perspective of the bugs. I like that. I thought that was pretty interesting. You remember that? Like the prologue?
My notes don't mention that at all. They talk about a dude seeing a vision and like falling into the earth surrounded by cold.
No, that was a bug.
Those were the bugs, dude.
What?
Yeah, he didn't specifically say it was the bugs, but you kind of used the context clues.
They're mining. They find them deep underground on a frozen planet.
I feel the warmth of their machines, nearing us. We hunger, and they're like a hive mind and everything.
I didn't know.
Like,
he talks
definitely not Tyranids. They're
wait
not.
A second.
They are not giant bug-like creatures of carapace capable of adaptation and replication by eating the biomass.
Did Nebuchadnezzar awaken this bug then? Because I wrote down Nebuchadnezzar speaks to him in the beginning. So if he's talking to a bug, did he like awaken the bugs and like set this all on its path?
Wait, who's Nebuchadnezzar?
Isn't it one of their like gods or something?
I don't remember.
Oh, dude, that's interesting. If they're like this godly entity set this in motion by awakening the first bug.
Oh, could it be that they share the same god? They don't realize or something like that. I don't know. I would have to reread that with context or something like that.
Oh wait, something
I got the impression it was because they dug too greedily and too deep. They found something in the darkness.
Yeah. But yeah, before we get into that, we kind of have to, for people who haven't, that are listening to this that haven't read the book already, we have to give a little bit more context before we get into some of that stuff. But I will say, if you have read this, we do this so you can have a little cathartic experience of listening to somebody else that's listened to the same book that you have. So comment below, let us know how you felt about this, or make fun of Justin. That's usually fun.
But only do it in your best Australian accent.
And remind you of your significant other. Get help. Anyway.
Yeah. But so let's talk about the moment. It was really early on. This is why it was so crazy to this should have been edited out. But the Karen moment. Do you guys remember how exactly that went down?
I'm leading up to it. She tells some guy to drink her recycled piss. I thought that was gross.
There was a guy that was like kind of being a little bit not doing what he was supposed to.
Trevor.
Yeah, and she's like, I smell alcohol on your breath. And then she's like, rule subset rule, whatever this, I can get you in trouble, and I know how to do it.
Also, she had something illegal too, so it's not like
but also it's one of those things too. It's like, bro, like, yeah, they're in a very depressing setting. Like all these guys are probably like high and drunk.
He has a sip of alcohol.
Yeah.
The burn water. What if burn water is the equivalent of Miller Lite, and it actually just fuels these guys to do the best damn work out there in the galaxy?
Also, he had like a porno magazine, and he was showing all the boys. Apparently,
wait, really?
She's like, "I'll report you for that too." I'm like, "That's illegal here."
Yeah, so that was a little
this ice mine.
That was a little ridiculous, and not to mention, it wasn't like set up for her to be like, "Wow, I was a real jerk back then." It was like that just was a moment. I'm like, you didn't have to have this moment.
You know why I kind of forgive it? Because the guy is a bully and is bullying her brother. It does.
I don't even remember that. Did he? How did he bully her though? Bully him? Sorry. He would
force him to use his free time to fix some of his gadgets and other things like that. So and it was an ongoing problem.
The harsh bullying.
Yeah, and she even says
bullying.
So cruel.
I tell him to fix my machines, and he says yes. And
he was getting taken advantage of. Yeah. But like, and then also he learned a lot. Yeah.
She tells her brother, she's like, "You're too weak. You need me. And I got to be tough for you because you're weak." And
I'm sitting there like, "You're the bully, Sam."
Maybe build up your little bro to be able to deal with these problems instead of just telling him like he sucks and just like reinforcing that about him. He's
woman,
like,
am I right?
Jordan Peterson peeks his head around her. You need to take some responsibility in your life.
Well, also, what was throwing me off too is with how heavily this was like a Warhammer-ish like vibes. And I've only read the Infinite and the Divine. I know a lot of Warhammer lore, but I haven't read as many books as I should. Just one. But I feel like this place would be like really harsh, and like I feel like they would chew up a guy. I feel like would they chew up a guy for having an inhaler? You know, is that a reasonable thing?
It depends on the
so.
timeline. It depends on the worlds.
Yeah.
Lower class are pretty much treated like this, but like slaves. Like you get rationed this, and this. Your lives are expendable.
Yeah.
So there's an element, but like I don't like his character might not make it in the 40K universe, but her character would not exist in the 40K universe. Like you have to be mid or upper class, like civilian society to get away, more upper class to be able to get away with that. And even then, you don't really get away with it.
Well, and that's also probably pretty unfair for us. Just because this reminds us of 40K doesn't mean that we should be subscribing or
That's
what's the word? Whatever.
true, but
Putting
the
this
way
on that book. Yeah.
about this
Right,
world,
right.
it's structured similarly.
Yeah.
Now let's get into some of the things that are different. The way the magic system is described, the threads rather than the warp. It's similar, but it's different enough, and I like that it's not like
I'm interested.
This one thing is evil. Like in the warp is evil because the entire thing's been tainted, basically in 40K. And this is like, well, there's this other reality of energy, essentially, which is what the warp is. But in Jazz's universe, there are different threads, and certain threads are building.
We should still wait to get to that part because we haven't even talked about the not Space Marines.
We haven't talked about the
bugs,
Native American space wolves.
Yeah.
Well,
so Space Marine, the wolf.
I was gonna say Aiden and Samantha. They're like Samantha's the lead, and Aiden plays off of her brother and sister. She's protective, all that. She's defending him, but also like telling him he's weak at the same time. Shortly after that, we get a little bit of their history, and that's what I was saying on the other video. If you watch that, like the pacing of it, like the structure of it was good, where it's like this happens, and then we get a little bit forward. We find out that their mom is dead, and that their dad was like this drunk, like abusive dude. And Aiden is very religious of their world. We get introduced to the Xenothog, and he talking about Godsteel and the Starborn and these.
Yeah, Godsteel. I haven't heard that made up metal before.
Oh, is that a thing in other places? That's the first
I feel
time
like it is. Wasn't it Johnny Douglas's book too?
Adamantite, which is what 40K does.
But do they call it Godsteel, or however you say it? Godsteel.
Sure.
So they talk about that. So they're introducing these like broader elements, and that's what kind of fuels some people like Aiden, where he has this belief in something greater out there. And so you get a little bit of that and that kind of difference between them. And it's not long after that there's a collapse in Sam's section. So in the part of the mine she's working in, and I think she puts Cressley, who's a character, in charge of that, and it happens. And like, was it Cressley's fault? Wait, was Sam in charge? What happened there? And
she hates whatever the organization is, the religion. She hates the religion.
Yeah,
and that really worried me because I don't remember if it was attached to the advertisement of this book, but or not. But like, Jazza has mentioned how he's not religious anymore, and I thought that was going to be like, oh, that's going to be the core of this book, and then it wasn't. It was an aspect of the character, Sam, but it wasn't like.
Yeah, and it's not. How do I explain this? Like Aiden, there's elements of that too, because the way he describes it for Aiden is it's kind of like, oh, there's a small implication that because he struggles and because he's weak, that's why he depends on it like a crutch. There is an element of that, which is not wholly untrue to real life, but it is something I was aware of while I was reading it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the weak guy who's not as assertive relies on religion because he's got it figured it out.
But I mean,
then it turned out to be right, so it kind of confused.
That was
right, which made it interesting. I'm glad that it was a little bit more like, ooh, what is going on here? Instead of being like, we expect this, we get this, this is typical. It was like, okay, but yeah, it's by the end of according to my notes, the end of the second chapter that the bugs are wasting people. Like we're right into it. Man. You're 2 chapters in, the bugs are there. It's like, yes, because I was worried. I've seen too many sci-fi projects where they're in a canon space and they pitch it as something, and there's like an hour and a half of human drama before the monster shows up, and he's there for 5 minutes. You see him once, and the movie's over.
Every Alien book of all
right. So the fact that it's chapter 2 and it's like the bugs are here. Now what? I'm like, all right, cool. We got some action right out the gate. I'm an action guy, so I really appreciate that. They got a little bit of character setup, a little bit of world building, and now we're getting some action. That's what I was talking about, like the way the building blocks are laid out. Like you don't want to do too much of one thing for too long. And so I appreciate that almost right away the creature shows up, and then they get into Sam talking about wars in the galaxy, and the bugs. There's like stuff going on. Like what's happening? Is this like some kind of is this real?
They
what's
were
going
clearly
on?
not prepared for this.
Not at all. And they thought the people above them would have been. And
well, they're they're reaching out to like the security section, and they're not responding. So there's more going on. that's kind of screwed them over than just the bugs. But yeah, then they get like I guess trapped in a room where they're like kind of safe for the bugs ish, it's just a matter of time. And the Aiden does some like he's really good with computers because that guy bullied him. No, he's really good with computers, and he's able to
he's
like
the real hero.
yeah, do something to like get a signal out to hopefully maybe get some help, but then help arrives, and it was coincidental. What was that?
It's not helpful.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing, right? Like, so the not Space Marines show up. I don't remember what they're called. But yeah, they come in and it's just like they're hulking strong warriors, and they're just like, hey, we're here to search for something with sacred artifact. We don't care about you guys. Which I'm like, okay, cool, but they should still be grateful because they're gonna help them. They're not gonna like hurt them. But then some guys like goes like run off like scared, and then he gets killed immediately.
And
I'm thinking,
blasted.
yeah, this is supposed to be like, oh my god, this is so horrible. How could they do this? This is so systematically evil. And the main character's kind of doing that, and I'm kind of like, yeah, because they're in this super dangerous, hazardous thing where you got these giant space bugs. You can't have some loony guy fucking running off, like, yeah.
And then it turns out that they were right, because them messing around and opening all the doors, like, created a huge security problem with the bugs. Yeah. Oh, that was something else I wanted to point out. I was worried that for some BS reason, Sam was going to become like, you have been chosen to be a Starborn. I'm like,
Starborn, that's what they're called.
For the love of God, don't. I was or like Ascended, I guess is maybe the right word. But
give it time.
I was like, I thought for sure that was going to happen.
Wait a minute. So happy it didn't. What are you talking about? Didn't that happen at the end?
No, she's taken up into like space by other people. No.
Okay, she's made like a higher level or something.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, I did think that was going to happen. I thought they were going to be like, we want you to be Starborn because you're so awesome during this entire time.
I'm like, are you going to Ray Palpatine this whole thing, or what's going on?
Justin, what were you saying? Sorry.
I was going to say, we jumped ahead there, and I think it's worth mentioning those chapters before the Starborn arrive, because there's this book, again, does a good job of this happens, and because that happened later on, this is going to be a result. And one of those things that takes place early on, the bugs are in there, they're dealing with them, they kind of encounter them, they shut the door. At some point, Aiden gets cut by a bug. And whenever he's cut by the bug, I'm sitting there like, this is going to be like a like zombie bite. It's going to be slow, getting worse, and then it's too late. And the fact that he has been cut fuels a lot of his decisions later on. And I love, again, I think this was great. They set things up like this, where there's like, this happens, you're like, oh, and then you move on, and you're like, did you forget about that? And I'm like, I didn't forget about it. I'm still remembering it. And then it comes back, and you're like, oh, that's why all this stuff's gonna happen, which I really appreciate.
No,
you're Sam being how
we meet
she
Stannis,
is, Aiden more likable for sure.
Yeah, and it's during that time we also meet Jackson, we meet Stannis, we meet
Stannis
Pavel.
is a retard.
He was likable right away, I thought.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he's like the tough guy. He's in charge. He's like, yeah, we're going to do this stuff. And he's looking for his brother.
Pavel the drunk guy?
Pavel's like the captain. And this is another thing. They set this up whenever they introduce Pavel, that he's like the captain. That's always kind of never done his job well. He's always kind of sucked, but he has it in him somewhere to be like, I should do a good job.
He wasn't always like this. Yeah. You can tell he wasn't always apathetic and a loser, essentially.
Right. And so they plant that seed early on, and then as things ramp up, you're like, is he going to keep being how he's always been his whole career, or is this going to be his moment to shine? And I thought that moment that they set up with him, those are my favorite parts of the book, was with Pavel later on. But yeah, you get Stannis is looking for his brother Jackson. So the main characters are taking this elevator to try to get higher up and get away from these things. They come across Stannis, and Stannis is like, I need to get a hold of my brother. He's down there. And they're like,
yeah, it's important to mention
that there was a consequence for him effing up, essentially.
Yes, true. But before the space station, like, yeah, they're like in this room closed off from the bugs. But this whatever you call it, base is massive, and there's many rooms of survivors that they can't talk to each other at first until like Aiden's able to set up communication with them, which ends up kind of being a bad thing.
Yeah, he just casually is like, what if I just gave everybody access? I'm like, that seems like a bad plan, actually.
Yeah, but a believable thing that he
An
would do.
understandable thing to do. Yes.
Yeah, like not understanding that protocol is protocol for a reason, being like, no, I think if we're able to make decisions, we'll be able to make decisions that help us to get out, and then it ends up being the worst decision ever.
Well, it would have been fine if it was still a secret, but then it wasn't. Yeah, no, it was just a bad decision that
It was bad.
became worse once people figured it out.
Yeah,
And-
like you could
and
have assigned it to people and done stuff, but no. So then Stannis, he ends up open. What happened exactly? Because I like blinked out right as it happened. He opened the door or something
He was
like that.
slowly leading his brother and his group through, and he would open other chambers to let the bugs go into other places and slowly, safely lead his group to the elevators.
Yeah,
But then he had this decision. He had basically the only way to get them through was to sacrifice a group of two or three people who were already dying
mm-hmm.
to be able to let them through. And he basically told them, "Yeah, no, He went to tell that group, "Yeah, I'm sorry, but you guys aren't going to be able." Or no. He let them die, and as his brother and his group are going through, someone else heard them going through or saw them through it like the glass, and was like, "Oh, we want to go there." And he's like, he tries to tell him, he's like, "Hey, you guys can open the doors, and probably follow it. Just go parallel to where that group is going, and you'll get there." But he didn't tell just them. He told everyone in every room, and that's where the mistake.
Yeah, everyone opens a bunch of doors and just bugs just tear people apart, and he can see his dumb decision, just seeing everyone get murdered, and they're even like pleading, like, "What do we do? What do we do?" And he's just like, "There's nothing." And he's like, "I'm sorry." The voice acting was top notch by Jazza, and he's just like losing it. But yeah, sorry, Justin, you were saying.
Oh no, I was going to say it's worth noting here too that I lost my thought.
Whoa, like right in the middle too. That was
Okay,
in the middle
got
of the
it.
word.
Yeah, I was halfway there, and then I was listening to what you were saying, and I was like, wow, the way he sounds really nice. It's worth noting that the people that he is choosing to sacrifice, like time has passed. We've been at this for a little while now. Like people, it's not like the bugs show up and it's just like chaos and things are happening within hours. We're talking about days and days and days and days and days.
Yeah.
So people are surviving, and things aren't going well, but they've already survived in these circumstances for X amount of days, and they're hanging on. And then all of a sudden, you have Stannis being like, "I want my brother though," and he's just like, "Yeah, I know you guys have survived for a couple of days and things have been going glowingly enough, giving out the situation, but I need my brother, so." Sorry, guys.
If I could cut in, there's one thing I forgot to mention that's kind of earlier in the narrative.
Yeah,
I appreciate that her first kind of PTSD like kind of thing was seeing the malevolent, like hungry face of the alien.
Ooh, yeah, that was a great.
That was really well written, and for most people, PTSD of that kind, it's because they encounter true hatred or malevolence or evil. And for her, that moment was seeing that face. Yeah. And I appreciate the attention to detail on that. I thought that was really, really well done.
Yeah. Yes. The fact that these bugs are not just bugs like we know them, but whenever the bugs start attacking, they have this like smile. And they actually, it seems like to me, they feed
They're
off
basically centipedes with more intelligence.
Do centipedes, do this fear make their prey more delicious?
No, but they
that's
actively will hunt you. And see, they're the only bug I know that does that. They will go after you.
I didn't know that. But I do like that these animals, it seems like they feed off of human fear. And so they like kind of draw out the kill in a couple instances, and they know they got you, dead to rights, and they're very tough. There's been scenes where groups of people are attacking these things and it's going miserably. In fact, one of the only reasons they're able to take down one is because the door cuts off one of the arms, and the arms are kind of like this lightweight metal that can cut through anything. And they use that in order to kill it, but they're not easy to kill, especially compared to humans. No. They just like decimate, just slice through people like nothing. And so
even the Starborn Space Marines have some troubles too.
Yes, between the power of those animals, but the fact that they enjoy it, and there's a description of the fact that they got the smile on their face and the chittering, and they're like, oh, that just made them a little bit more creepy and a little bit more,
Yeah, some of the 40K books kind of go that direction because like basic roaches in this case. They're just animals like that hunt essentially and eat, but like certain ones adapt and they're smarter, and then they I appreciate that the roaches are well handled and that they are slightly different. Also, ripping off their limbs to use them as weapons is very metal. And I assume for Jazza, because he lives in Australia, that's just something that he and Chad did as children.
That's how
when
they fight
were out-
tarantulas.
when they were in the outback.
Get his fang and use it against it, mate, and just bite himself, make him bite himself.
So Stannis has his moment, and again, beautifully voice acted by Jazza, where he's just in despair of what he just did, and he's like, "Scream, fuck you," whatever. And then he goes, is just like, "I'm gonna go kill him," right? And then
Thought he
he
would
goes,
be Rambo. And
I get his mentality. Nobody really put an effort to stopping him.
Because he's too big and too strong. What were they going to do?
Weren't the Starborn there though?
Yes,
Oh, was it at
they
that
weren't.
point?
They weren't
Okay,
right
so they
there,
didn't
but
care.
they were around.
I mean, why they would have 100% just been like,
Yeah, they
they were not
jellied him,
taking
just like
in
they did the
control
other guy.
of the situation like I would have expected them. How, and not because of my perception of them, but how they set that up of them coming in, being like, we're taking control of the situation. The only reason you can do anything out of our purview is you have to sneak around us. And obviously Stannis wasn't sneaking around being like, I'm going to go kill them. I expect a Starborn to be like right there, pop his head off. And then we could have a scene where Sam's like freaking out, like, how could you kill him? And blah, blah, like he's sad, but like whatever. And
Yeah.
but also it's just like, even anyone more level-headed would be like, hey, don't go out there, you fucking retard. And also don't do it because you're going to put us in danger, the ones that don't want to.
And Sam saw that what was happening, and she made no effort to stop it.
Yeah,
all.
that was like, that actually was pissing me off, that moment,
I
because I'm like,
almost
this is
think
just too stupid.
Counterpoint. I don't like her character very much. I almost think that was a very humanizing moment for her, because she saw once people started agreeing with him, she saw the tide had turned, and basically her priority became me and my brother. Get us somewhere safe. Now, her character she seems like a character that would have tried to stop it, but
but also I feel like more people would have pushed back, especially the Starborn. The Starborn 100% would have been like, just started killing them.
Maybe they just were like, he's as good as dead. I don't know.
No,
Whenever
but they would know that's a risk. They literally just shot somebody in the beginning because he ran off, not even like to open a door. He just like ran off, and they're just like, okay, like I guess you weren't respecting us enough.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
what's going on? That was, I think
say,
that's hard to argue on that one.
That's fair. I think that their arrival though was pretty sick. Like the whole time, days are passing, weeks are passing. Aiden sent out this message: "Can anybody hear us? Are the Starborn are they coming?" And then whenever they finally arrive and they come in, there's 6 armored figures enter, and it's like, holy shit, the Starborn are real, and they're here.
Also,
and look at that machine
the
with
bear,
them,
the
and
bear,
bear.
The most
I was
important-
like,
the most
whoa.
important
bear
part-
is a create of different things.
The most important part,
Yeah.
polar bear, mech or armored polar bear, and I'm like, I don't know, is this trying to be a little bit edgy? And then you get descriptions of the polar bear tearing apart space bugs and then using its shoulder cannons to mow things down. I'm like, this is
just
fucking
awesome.
cool, dude. This is
Yeah,
fucking
it's just
awesome,
cool.
dude.
It's so,
This
and
is
then
so
they
cool.
there's even like a backstory you get later on about, and you're like, oh
my
I just thought
God.
it was like I was already with you, man, but the backstory is cool.
That was very well
And-
handled. That was very
Yes,
well
it's
handled.
where you get introduced to. I listened to the book.
Oh, we should have
Narbec,
mentioned this on the-
Nabek, the Starborn guy, like the leader.
We should have mentioned it on this non-spoiler alert that there's 3 interludes, and they are the best part about this book. Like, not like that. That's like a insult to this book, but like the interludes were really good.
The interludes were the best part, as far as I'm concerned. It's not. I think partially it's because I don't love Sam as a character. She doesn't seem like a character that would exist in this particular universe. But also the perspective of an ancient warrior fighting against unstoppable forces is an appealing POV.
I am Nabanabinuki, and my connection with my Uganaki Yuka bear. Some of the names were pretty
Dude,
funny.
I mean, yeah, whenever they show up, they're awesome. They're like, you abide by the edict. And then they're like, there's an ancient relic in this planet. And they're like, distress call? We never got a distress call. And they're like looking around, you guys get a distress call? I didn't get no distress call.
They look over.
They're just here for the relic.
for you.
Yeah, so they just show up and they're like 6 soldiers, a 20-foot bear. I'm like, dude, these guys are legit. And I'm like, these are cool. And then of course, their leader being Narbek, whatever his name is, the interludes give you a bigger picture of who
And we
he
get
is.
to
I'm
find
like,
about the Upanadaki.
yes, yeah, the Upananaki is my favorite part of this book. And whenever they get in the interludes and they build out his story, I'm just like, I want this guy's story. Like, Sam, get out of here. Aiden,
When
you're
me-
fine, but go away. Take your inhaler with you. I want this guy's story.
A quick break before we get back into the video talking about this book. I wanted to talk to you about, well, I'm also an author. We're talking about an author, but I have a few books, but I also have an upcoming comic book that's going to be taking place in my friend's universe, which he has available on his website if you want to get a hold of that. It's called Phenomenova. It's a very successful, made around $14,000, I think, on Kickstarter, and soon I will have a project that's going to be a part of that universe. So if that at all interests you, check out these projects and sign up for the email address if you do me a favor. That's the best way to support me, especially with this upcoming project that's going to be a part of this universe. All right, I think that's enough talking about that. Just sign up for the email list on rebelwasis.com, rebelwasisstudios.com. All right.
Because his
When
story,
me and my pet bear connected and formed our Ukanuka.
I wish he called it his pet bear. Me and my pet bear. We're Gigi.
No, polar bear.
Come here, my
Polar
Gigi. My polar bear, my pet polar bear.
My
my Gigi.
Ukanaka.
He's not a pet.
And that's
He's
the thing,
a
too.
companion.
Oh, no. They have this armor, but then it says they're wearing pelts. And I'm like, what in the hell's going on? These guys are like
I'm gonna
decked out
pull
this
up an
god
image of
steel,
what
and they
this
have
would
like
look like. I'll be right back.
a
Hold on.
Daniel Boone raccoon hat on top of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's actually
Well,
like,
the-
kind of badass. Like, let's go.
And then there was one of the interludes mentioned like his girlfriend. She had like a eagle, right?
Yeah, they got
I
no.
don't-
She had a bird. Yeah.
Her Ukanaga
probably
Uka
bald eagle.
was
It's probably
an
the
eagle.
baldest eagle.
Yeah.
Uganaka
And then-
Pukulaki.
And then should we mention like the third or the second one? Which one was the brother? His brother.
The bear.
Is that the second or third one? Because they
is
mentioned
that
also
like
they
the
mentioned
Ghost Town? I think the Ghost Town was the second one. Or maybe
yeah
it
the
was
ghost
third
town.
one.
No, the ghost town. That's the other thing they mentioned these alien species. There's two different alien species we get through these interludes, and these were so interesting. So like one part, like they go to this ghost town. Yeah, space wolves.
This is basically what they look like. This is the
You say
40K.
basically.
Space.
I did. I'm lesdistic. I might have said it, but I didn't. But yeah, this is
You
basically.
say you're
what I'm
Lebanese?
picturing.
Why is his head so small for that big arm with it?
Are you
Yeah.
saying I like women? Tell you what.
So yeah, basically he tells this story about what's going on with his brother, who they went to this like ghost planet where they touch you, they like steal your soul or something,
And they're
brutal.
like, hey, come on,
Can we-
friend,
can
come
you
hang out, come to
rephrase
the
that?
party. We
Go to this
love you,
planet
we
where,
miss
like,
you,
they
we're
touch
sorry.
you.
They touch you, yeah. And
But
then
just the
I
way
guess
they like,
I guess it happened to his brother, and so he had to take his brother's Unanakin Bukukuku, and then they had to like grab them together, and he's like a half man, half bear, half
Yeah,
pig.
dude.
Not well, like that, the way it's described is really what it's maybe the most compelling chapter in the book.
Mhm.
yeah,
that
it's just like
whole-
this
is that- it's that
tormented
third interlude.
monster that's like bear and
And
bear
and it's
and man
also
and machine.
kind of his faults too, because he wasn't strong enough to keep
Yeah.
his protection up, which
Yeah.
which gave
They got
like,
psychic powers, yeah.
yeah, he's
We get to
he's
even see
a
a little bit.
librarian, but they call them something else because this isn't 40K.
What was the third
again,
interlude?
That was the third one. That's what I'm saying. That's
Or
Well,
what
the
was
second one must have
one?
been when he got his bear, his Gigi.
No, that was
oh
the
no, I'm
first one.
talking about when he
Was it?
combined his brother and his brother's bear.
Yeah, I think that was the
One.
second interlude. Then the third
No,
one
that's
mentioned
the
like
third
rock
one.
aliens.
The first interlude is he saves his bear.
Yeah.
And then
the
he ascends.
this is all the way we're jumping around. It takes me a minute here. The interlude 2. He gets
What's
the
your
girl
note say?
killed. That's when he gets the.
Yeah, his girlfriend.
It says, "WTF? Isn't the book just about this dude? Why isn't this book just about this dude? This sounds cool."
Yeah.
He gets the girl he cares for killed, and is like, "We have to learn from that and do better." He wears a feather to remind him. Those are my notes. They're very
Well,
good.
these are Native American space wolves, don't you know?
And then her Ukanedi Kabuki eagle eventually dies because of the companion.
Dude,
It
he
dies
fights
of a
the
broken
the
heart.
Krog is one of my notes. He
Yeah, they
fights the
fight some
Krog.
like rock alien thing, and that was like cool.
It's the
So I was
Krog,
just-
bro.
Yeah,
It's
so
the
that's what I'm
aggro
like.
crag. He fights the aggro crag, and if you get that reference, good.
That's why I'm excited for more stories from him, because I'm like, this world he's building is pretty interested, and I'm gonna listen more about shoulder cannon mounted fucking space polar bears.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot more of this book that doesn't have anything to do with the interludes.
Yeah, you get
which is
Sam.
the,
You get a lot more Sam.
we got Migwan, we got Pavel. Did you guys like Migwan? How do you feel about Migwan?
Which one was
Who was
Migwan?
Big One?
How funny. She was the chick that came down with him, and she was like kind of with Aiden, and she's kind of like,
Oh,
whatever,
she was the
but she's
leader of
also
the
like
scouts
fights too.
who were hoping to ascend all the way. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
well, they were with the Starborn, right? She was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
She was
I
fine. Yeah.
thought she was fine. I think I
Yeah.
think it differentiates itself by like, oh, it's like this is like an early stage. If we are, but and we're more likely to be chosen
Yeah, we're
down the line
Padawans.
when
Yeah.
we're ready. It's like, oh yeah, there's progression. Okay, there's a way, like there's a goal you can work towards it. And I'm
And
like,
it's-
what? Again, I was like, Sam's just going to skip the line. Watch this. No, she doesn't. Thank God. I was so worried
Yes.
about that. The entire
So-
book was like a dread.
What happens after the whole Stannis ordeal? They get into like another place that they have to like try to survive, and then we get a lot of like Aiden trying to do some computer junky stuff to
Even-
try to save them.
Well, before that, we see Nublek too, and he's going into the there's a girl named Lena who's trying to keep people alive, and Nublek is like, hey, nice job, high five. All right, I'm just gonna kill this dude because he's dying. I'm just gonna kill this girl because
oh
she's
yeah,
dying.
yeah.
And
she
he
was like,
has these energy pulses, and these people
Yeah.
they got bit. They're in bad shape, and he just walks over.
They're
and
gonna
he's just
die.
like, you're not gonna make it. Takes, but it's like very. He does like a spiritual thing where it's like, oh, you know, you blah blah. And it's very peaceful.
and
but he's
she
just
starts bitching and complaining. I'm like,
He's
this
like,
is
it-
the
it-
right
I've been
thing
keeping
to
that
do.
guy alive for weeks. I've been keeping him alive for weeks. That's all I've been
almost
doing.
wish
He's
they
like,
would have
"Brr."
committed to it
Calm down.
instead of what it feels like they walk back that attitude later. And it's fine, but I think it's a hard sell. I think it's a hard sell because it's like, oh, Sam, you reminded us of this. I'm like, I don't think Sam did anything good here.
Sam didn't do no. That's the thing. This book ends up being like, Sam, you were really great, and you really kept us alive with your everything. Like she didn't do anything. What are you talking about?
She
Man,
did
I
do
thought-
stuff, but I don't know. We're pretty hard on Sam here, but it's not fully without.
Well, it's the thing is, she's not a terrible character, but she's also the main character, and she is dragging
Yes.
the story down.
That's the thing. Like her character makes sense, but I don't want to spend time with her. And that's the thing. That's why I was saying this book it's like well made because you're like, I understand the history and why, because as a kid this and why, because in her position this, I get that, but she's not super fun to be around, which I don't care for.
No,
Should we mention how with Kada, there's a little girl they come across and how I didn't know it was a little girl at first. I was just a dumb
Yes.
person.
She was such a small part. That was like there was a lot of perspective
like that
chapters, and I'm
because,
like,
that's the first time the space warriors are humanized. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, like mid sentence. I was like, it was another perspective character, and I kind of was at that point. I'm like, how many more perspective characters are we gonna get? This is getting a little bit ridiculous.
But they, again, it's chapter 17. You're like, why? I thought it was a dumb person who was like, me no like scary thing bad. Me like hiding good. Keep away from dark. I thought it was a dumb person. And I was like, oh, it's a little girl. She's afraid of the dark. She's hiding. I was like, oh. And then I wrote, bro, I don't care about this kid. Get back to the action, please. But she comes back later. So again, it's like planting the seed in the back for a few minutes. You get a 10-minute chapter, and there's a little moment there with her and Sam that later on, it makes sense. So I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. In the moment, I'm just like 3x, but once we got later on, I'm like, okay, well, slow down.
Beginning of that chapter, you're like, I hate this retard. Why are they hiding?
I was like,
in the
why can I relate to this character so well? This is my favorite chapter by
Everybody
far.
knows you
Me
gotta
hide
go
dark
fully
too.
die.
Dark also scary, yeah. I didn't realize though that the Stannis chapters are so much later. I thought they were way earlier in the book.
No.
Yeah, that's weird. So we get to a point like so it kind of gets pretty interesting with like some of the survival stuff that's going on and like the fear of not being saved. And you kind of like, yeah, the Starborn are not going to be like this, be able to necessarily save them unless they pull some stuff out. And then we get like this mystery that's been going on of like why Bastion never responded, the like security team or whatever. And so Aiden really does everything pretty much just starts uncovering. We start to discover that like the people in charge of this station, this base, they were like pulling some things that they shouldn't have been allowed to do. That's like that screwed with like the Empire's protocols and system in place, and kind of like took it over just so they can kind of just chill and live a luxurious life. Yeah.
There's this whole interesting dynamic that unfolds, and I don't know if this is tied into Jazza himself and his view of religion. It seems like it probably is, but this idea of like what is God, and they have this faith in these people, and they finally show up, and they're not what they thought, and those people are just people in armor to a degree, but they are ascended. Like there's something there, but we're not totally sure of it. And then even with Aiden pushing everybody to the S tier rankings, it's like now they have this power. And then the people above them, those people had more power, and the way that they chose to live this this life of decadence and debauchery and everything, and not watching over the people under them. And it's all about this pyramid of like care. Like, do the people above actually care about those underneath? And you see moments where some just absolutely don't, and some absolutely do, and there's times, and I think that's an interesting aspect of this book in terms of the structure of it, and that kind of bigger picture that slowly unfolds and gets bigger and bigger, and I think gets back to that whole, especially with the elements with it's not Nebuchadnezzar, but Nebukadnezar and the other Xenothog and all that. It's absolutely it's in all of it. It's just the pieces.
I think that was like, as far as like the soul individual story, not like the overall world building, I think that was like the best aspect of this story. Is that fair to say?
Which part specifically?
The one that Justin just mentioned.
Like the bigger picture of it?
No, like the whole, everything that was going on with this like command center and abusing the lower tiers and literally everything you just said.
Yeah,
that was the best part of the story.
It's a good, you needed mystery. Otherwise, it's a simple survival story.
Exactly.
I do think it's a part of it, but I think the main part is that the tension is there most of the time because they're either dying of colds, they're starving, they don't know if they're going to have deliverance. Deliverance arrives, it's not here to help you so far. And then there's the mystery of what's going on, and so wait, we're part of a weird colony apparently, and the bugs are here, and it's like,
and AI is in the discussion.
Yes.
Because they're like, wait, really... AI is outlawed because all these universes, AI is outlawed. So they're like, wait, maybe the AI is actually a thing that's allowed in this place in the Empire. But what's up?
Jazz is the younger brother, right? Or Shad? Yeah. Because Shad becomes one with the AI later on, right?
Holy crap! Wait.
Does that mean Jazza sees him as Sam?
He just starts making babes with swords as soon as he gets the Xenobrax or the Tenebrax in his head. He's like, "All right, fellas, I got it now." And he starts like,
"Yeah, we're getting into that, right?" Because I thought this whole part was really cool. Basically, so they figure out that there's this AI involved, but then they're like, "Wait, no, this AI was not put here by the Xenothar. This was what was created by Bastion." To take over this other thing that's there, which is like this mecha person. How would you describe this thing? Like,
well, it's the human computer, essentially.
Yeah, yes. Human computer hybrid that is energized by the energy. I think just all the people, and it also uses the resource that they're actually mining, which is very, very expensive and rare. And so, like they see that Aiden was kind of like chosen by this thing to kind of like help save him. And then I guess, is he kind of like dying, or he's just like something like this computer thing?
I mentioned he got wounded forever ago, and he's been slowly
no.
going
I'm
down.
talking about the computer. The computer was just like, because when Aiden shows up, he's just like, they're like, we can replace you. And Aiden like says, I will become the new computer thing.
Yeah, right. Because the other one was compromised by bad threads.
Yeah, bad threads, because the AI corrupted him basically. And so there's this whole, and this goes on for a while with the description of Nubananaki, whatever the Starborn, which is, I was kind of like,
his name.
This random Starborn has the power to make this person into like kind of like a minor god in the Xenothar.
Well, because he's basically a librarian from 40K, he can access all of the threads, like essentially not solar warrior, whatever they call him, who can access all of the threads, is like a mini demigod essentially.
Yeah,
and that's pretty well demonstrated in the story.
Yeah, and then Aiden basically becomes like a minor god, and he's basically becomes like the heart and mind of the base, and is like powered by all the people. And now he's still kind of a little bit weaker in power because all the people in the station are pretty much dead, so there's not enough power going around, which is just like this weird, interesting concept. And that whole segment was like
Yeah, with
crazy.
Like,
I'm like,
the power going down, they're trying to get power back on, and the fact that everybody's tied to one of these generators, and they can specifically say like, there's Gary's generator. Gary's not doing too hot. Look at that, no power coming out of this thing right here. That was really cool. I did not expect that. Once that happened, I'm like, what the heck? Like this is some wild stuff. So I thought that was a really cool.
yeah,
thing
and
to
then
add in.
so soon after, help does arrive, but it's going to take them, an hour or so to land. It's going to take them another however much time to like dock and all this other stuff. And so the aliens, the space bugs are breaking through at this point. And now we have like our final fight, and it's just like this, the time is crunching. Are they going to be saved before the space bugs can overwhelm them?
Mm-hmm.
And
there's
again,
I was gonna say there's good moments there too, where because Aiden becomes the machine, he's then talking to his sister, and she's got to deal with the fact like he's not going with you. You finally have to leave your little brother behind, and he goes into that little the machine where he's like sending text messages, and she's like, this is him, but this isn't him, and like there's an interesting moment with that too, and I don't know if it's a commentary like on our relationship again with technology, and if it might be the kind of thing where it's like, oh, this will be cool, and then we're sitting here like, oh my god, the way this is set up, and it might be like, wow, he did the text message here because he's part of the machine, and there's already this AI, and what is the relationship between humans and the supernatural AI, the combination and the combination of the bear and the human and the machine, and
Shad only talks
together.
to his family now through group chats, and it's all through AI.
It's like he does video
There's a
calls
bunch of
with it,
M
let it
dashes
AI
in the
him.
group his messages.
No, but like there is some commentary there. I think it's fair to say that, because it's like, oh, her brother, he's still around, but is it the same? She kind of doesn't even.
There's
know.
commentary. It's not like the bad commentary too. Not like force
it's
feeding you
interesting.
something. Yeah, interesting commentary.
It's very like relevant. Maybe like 20 years, will be like, oh, this book's man, that's what they thought. But like right now, I'm like, oh, it is kind of weird to think about and kind of well handled.
Absolutely.
That Joe, you'll be sitting there like you're just ahead now. It's like, yeah, once my part stops working, I just decided to make the change, and here we are.
Just a head and pants, just shorts and a head. That's it.
Yeah. My Tismore is like fluctuating. It's messing with my camera. What do I do? No, so they do make it. The dude with the Russian accent, he goes. He has his final moments where he's like I'm finally gonna do something, that I should be doing as a commander.
Predictable, but good.
And
I didn't predict that.
Oh, that was a mile away. What are you talking about? How did you not see that coming? That's basic. Whatever.
I mean, I didn't predict that. There. Okay. We're good now.
So then we have basically this end off. I'm pretty happy with the story overall, but then it's kind of like Sam and that one chick that's not a Starborn, almost a Starborn. They have a conversation. Yeah, Scout, and they're like, yeah, we both misjudged each other from the beginning, and we learned a lot from each other. And then it's also kind of like, Sam, you did awesome. Like you were incredible.
Dude, yes. Okay, I wrote that down. Yeah, that they kept.
And I'm kind of like,
girl, you got it. And she's like, and like,
yeah,
you did though. And somebody's like, wow, girl, you all amazing. Somebody's like, girl, I thought I misjudged your character. You're amazing.
Yeah,
I was like,
because
wow,
she did some leadership things, even though it was like all Aiden or it was all Nukamaki. And like, she didn't really do anything. Like, you keep on talking about how great she is, and she's not really doing anything great. I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I wrote that down. Like, there's a whole lot.
I remember that. I'm like,
you're the best. You're the best.
It's like, because she wasn't wholly
best.
bad. Like, she did some smart things.
Sure.
Yeah. No, she wasn't. Yeah. No. We're being hard on her, but at the same time, it's just like, again, you have like a lot of Warhammer 40K grim dark tones, and the characters that feel like that, like how they killed the guy just for simply just running off in the beginning, and now they're like, oh my god, girl, like we totally misunderstood each other in the beginning. And I'm like, you don't change that much. You are a hardened, bloodthirsty soldier. Like, you just be like, yeah, you did all right, Sam. Good job not fucking it up. Bye. Like,
it does feel a little incongruous. It's like, I feel like you should have made them a little more humanized in the beginning, or you should have made them kind of stick with it. Because I don't think Sam has enough force of personality to force him to make Nebuchadnezzar, I'm going to call him that, change his mind. He's like, oh yeah, I am a
Ubanaki
human.
Makadukudukugu.
Makabubu, yes, him. Yes.
Tell me in the comments, how do you guys think his name is pronounced? And what do you think about the Ubanaki Nekabaku? Ukaboku. I really can somebody look up what that word is if you can, because whatever the connection between them and their animals, because I remember it being just the goofiest word.
You're just saying all kinds of swear words in Japanese right now. I'm pretty sure.
I know Nihongo, all right? I know a white guy's
I don't know what
Nihongo.
that word means either.
I think he just
That's
called
Japanese.
you a slur.
Nippon.
What does it mean?
Nippon is Japan. Nihongo
What is
is
Nihongo?
Japanese.
Oh, really?
Japanese.
All right.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yo soy
Sushi
Italia.
arigato. Gozaimashita.
Yeah.
One other part of this that I thought was cool. I love environmental battles. That was one of my favorite parts of Batman Arkham City. They fight the bugs, and they're like, the cold is affecting them. The cold is slowing them down, and with the power being out, the cold keeps impacting them, and they have to weigh like, we got to get it real cold to slow these things down, because if they can slow down, we can fight them more effectively. So they're impacted by it. They got to tough it out. And there's one battle where they hit the sprinkler system that's going on in the cold.
Oh, and it starts
And
like snowing. Yeah.
yes. And I'm like, yeah, I love environmental solutions in any game where it's not just, I mean, I love just like shoot that thing 1,000 times or punch it till it falls over. But whenever it's like, no, see that blinking barrel in the corner, you got to shoot that at the right time. So the sprinkler system creates the snow that slows it down. Then when it's vulnerable, then you can get it. So that was pretty cool. Precisely. So I thought that was cool. And there was a couple other examples of environmental battles like that. I can't remember offhand, but I appreciate
flying
that
the
aspect of it as well.
ship into the hallway filled with monsters.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
That was
that.
pretty
Yeah, towards
metal.
the end.
I was ready for it.
It was like go. And even during those fights too, where you see the Starborn, they're definitely immortal. Like they suffered some heavy losses during those fights too, which is
I
cool.
think like 2 of them died right in the beginning or something like that.
Yeah,
that
one or
battle,
two of them
it was-
died in the earlier part, and then I think most of them died in the last.
that would shake your faith, right?
More
The
than
thing
like
you believed in is not what it was.
Nubuduku in the beginning or in the middle, like he used like a psychic power where he like froze everything around him, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they
that's
have like
cool.
because we saw elements of his power and his supernatural ability that would be like, oh wait, they're the real deal, and then they die, and you're like, wait, now I'm confused. And
I mean,
that
most
was-
about what's really good about this is just very basic shit. Just give us hulking dudes with giant guns and badass armor and psychic abilities that have polar bear companions with shoulder cannons.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude.
Also,
Fuck yeah.
Nebuchadnezzar Nububuku.
We
He
got
nailed
that
it.
Nubuduku.
He used some of the bad threads. What's the consequence of that? They don't really talk like it. Like theoretically, it would turn to in 40k chaos, but it's not that. So.
No, I didn't catch on to that. That worries me as being like, sometimes we got to use some of the evil, like fucking, Doctor Strange. You know how like the what's her name, the master in Doctor Strange. She uses some of the evil magic.
Nububuku energy.
Yeah, and it's just this like this whole goes into the slop moral gray type of story writing. Not saying all moral gray writing is bad, just some of
Marvel
it.
moral gray writing is bad.
Yeah. So that's kind of how that makes me feel. Is like no, or it's not really evil. It's just misunderstood. That could also be an as.
It couldn't have been Mr. Understood. You're being woke with that, seriously.
I'm not saying that's definitive, obviously, where he's going to go with it, but it does worry me with some of the other tones in this book. But that's not necessarily true.
A small concern for the future.
A small concern for the future. But I'm still really excited for potential stories and things that were set up in this. Yeah, I would. I'm 100% going to buy another book from him.
Hopefully, he writes another book sooner than 7 years.
We're about to get into that. Any final thoughts?
Combat was well written. Tension was good. I liked it. I don't love all the characters, but the story writing itself was really good. And this is being his first novel is kind of insane.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't know how much work editors do sometimes, or how like that's what's annoying. It's like, how much legwork did the editors do, or how much was this generally Jazza? But you could definitely see enough of what Jazza has brought to this that definitely is not from the editors is very good, very well done. Like I said, I'm definitely buying another book if he comes out with one.
Man, I'm so torn. I don't like Samantha, and it's gonna be about Samantha.
No, I don't
Hey,
think she's
Sam.
going to be in another book. I think she's done, or at least
would-
as a main
okay.
character.
If she is not the main character,
Does
I'm
she have an
far more
off-screen dishonorable death?
interested. But the fact that it ended with them, my notes
The next
say
book is titled "The Legend of Ubanakan Bupuku." I'm buying it. Two
I'm buying
copies.
the gold-plated hardcover signed on the front and the inside of the front. Yeah,
It's
for sure.
leather-bound gold.
My notes in the final chapter, leather-bound gold is the right way to do it. That's the right way to do it. I wrote, Norbert gives Samantha a feather and says, Slay Queen. They fly out as the power goes off, and Trevor says, give me a second chance. Pavel, Newblack, and Trevor are like, girl, you better than Mans. That's what my notes say. So I'm sick to death of Samantha. So if she's the lead, I don't care. Like, and it might be like, but that's the thing. He's so good at structuring his books. Like all the things you were saying, like the pacing was good. It wasn't a bad story. The characters were a little bit annoying at points, but it's just like, okay, the story's happening. Now there's this little trickle of like, what's that? And then you're like, that's kind of cool. And then there's like, oh, now there's this way off dream sequence. And you're like, now it pulls you back. Now it's like, I'm like, dude, this is like really cool. So I say that, but I have a feeling if she is the main character, I'll read it. And that's the other thing about this book. It's not super long. You don't have to sit there for 5,000 pages. It's like you can knock it out. What was it, 12 hours or something like that?
12 hours.
Yeah.
It's a small, medium-length novel, not nothing
So
crazy, though.
it's not a massive time investment. So by the time you're like, I don't know about this, you're already halfway through it. And you're like, well, I guess I'll read another chapter. Like Tracy Morgan, like, I don't know, I'll do another chapter. I don't care. And then before you know it, the book's done. So even if she's the lead, I don't know. I'm contradicting myself here, but I think that there's going to be enough.
All right, we
good
got it.
stuff
You
to
can't
your
make
point.
up your mind talking about the book character being womanly, Justin. Jesus Christ.
Hey, stop it. Look, these are
Doing
my
his
feelings.
best,
I have
okay?
emotions.
Okay.
I said what I said. We all said what we said. I hope
Mm.
you enjoyed the content, guys. Thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe, of course. And then click on the next video. We're talking.
Also, wait, can we talk about how you're wearing a green sweatshirt while using a green screen and you've been
I'm not using a green screen, dude. It's all AI now.
The bus is not a green.
I'm
been
Aiden. I'm
disappearing
Aiden
the
now.
entire time, by the way.
I know it's not green screen. It's just it's my living conditions right now. It's not ideal.
Are you never kaboo? Dude, this whole time, this just got even more meta. I can't believe it.
No, I'm a part of the
He's got
radon
some
of the
bad
Zenithar.
Yeah, he's got the bad threads.
Dude, this is the Zenithar. He's right
Yeah.
there. He's been here the whole time. Man, holy hell.
So wait, the Zenithark is on a spiritual short bus?
All right, cut.
Yes. You know what? That's actually pretty profound.
Thanks again for checking out this video, guys. Please do me a favor, like and subscribe. And also, again, check out that email list to sign up for on the website, rebeloasisstudios.com. And check out the follow-on videos. That's going to be linked below, and it's probably maybe on the screen right here or something like that. Have a good one. Like and subscribe, please.